Bulls right here. We've got Kyle. We've got Erik here. Kyle, holy shit. The Lakers won a game last night.
I know. What the?
I had to bust out this title shirt that my mom got me, which is pretty cool from a few years back. Got everybody's faces on there. Dude, I forgot what it felt like to win a game. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I've just been on the train like fading the Lakers every day. So I bet Golden State even 5.5. I was having a great night in UFC. Yeah. And then I completely forgot about the game to be complete. My brother was here watching the fights, goes, holy shit, the Lakers won. Yeah. He goes, LeBron had to score 56, but they won. You sort of look at the starting lineup before and you're like, okay, we got Austin Reeves and Stanley Johnson and Malik Monk. We're going to get smoked. But LeBron, the problem is LeBron can't do that all the time.
No.
It's just it's a
nice
Westbrook
win. Actually played okay. Like he had like 20. He wasn't completely inefficient. And Reeves was running around like a chicken with his head cut off, just being nuts. It was a lot of fun. That's how. That's where we are now as Laker fans. We just go nuts over one win. But
it's really
where they were for a bit, it was to the point where you're like, I mean, who are they going to beat? You were like looking at the schedule, like, why are they going to beat this team? Why are they going to beat this team with the effort that they've been showing? So at least they got a W. Yeah. But what I think that it showed more than we were kind of joking about the Lakers getting a win is it showed that one of the two teams in the West up top, one of them that we're going to talk about right now, they're in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Golden State and Phoenix, Erik. We've been talking about this now for a couple weeks because both of these teams are banged up. We've seen Golden State now. They are not remotely close to the same team without Draymond. Klay Thompson, everybody just sort of assumed he was going to come back and be two-way Klay Thompson. It's going to be a process for him. He's going to have some good nights, and then he's going to have 2 or 3 games where his body's not right yet. He's still figuring it out. And then his Phoenix team. We're looking at a Phoenix team today that's going to be depleted again, Erik. So these two teams, they're set okay up the top of the West, but there's something to worry about for them with these next few months.
It's completely different than what we've been used to for the last couple of years with the West being like the dominant division. Now it's flipped. The East is where everyone's at.
Absolutely.
The West is completely up for grabs. I mean, I could easily see like a 7th seed knocking off whoever's in that 2 line, Golden State, especially if Draymond's not there. Klay's coming off some serious leg injuries. For as good as Jordan Poole's been the last couple of games, I think every team is on the West could lose first round. It's going to be completely wide open.
Yep. So the game that we're going to be talking about first today is going to go at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. There's 8 games on the slate today. One of them's already started, Brooklyn, Boston. We're going to talk about the Suns at Milwaukee. That's 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific time. And later on in the day, we've got Indy at Washington, Memphis at Houston, Utah at Oklahoma City, Toronto at Cleveland, New Orleans at Denver, and the Knicks at the Clippers. So we'll all have a play or two in some of those later games, but let's break down this first game, which is the main ABC game today. Phoenix at Milwaukee. Kyle, Phoenix and Cam Johnson were incredible the other night to come back and beat the Knicks. Julius Randle and Cam had a little scuffle like late in the third, and Julius got thrown out, and that like really sparked Cam, who had an incredible fourth. They came back and win that game, but he's not going to be playing today. Booker is not going to be playing today. We already know Chris Paul is going to be out today. So that's why this line is all the way up to about 10 even in some spots with Milwaukee. So Phoenix is really depleted.
Yeah, real depleted. And look, I don't like betting double-digit spreads for the full game, right? So that if you want to bet Milwaukee, maybe sit on your money here, hope that Phoenix has a good first quarter, sort of get that number down, and then attack that live betting spot. I think that's the way to approach Milwaukee. Now, when you look at the Phoenix side, you mentioned no Booker, no Chris Paul, no Cam Johnson. Where are the points coming from? I think their totals are really elevated. You can get under 109.5 at plus 105. I mean, I don't see this team scoring 110 points on the road against Milwaukee today. I would be really surprised.
Those are my 2 plays. They're under team total and just the under overall. Because that's still a high number. That's what I'm scared. 2 of my plays today are NBA under total, which is like terrifying. But it does feel high. Like you said, it's just where are we going to get all these points from, right?
Exactly. Sorry, teenagers in the background can't be quiet for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Silverware dropping around.
Silverware dropping. But yeah, I just don't see the points here. So I really like that under team total. And you can get you can even go down and get this at like plus 250 under 104.5. I'm not sure they get to 100 points. I just don't. I mean, is DeAndre Ayton going to dominate on the inside? And I know last Sunday we kind of got burned. Ayton went off.
But
on Erik.
Or Ayton get their overs, their totals are 16 and a half. If you like them, maybe you target their individual totals. I still don't think cumulatively as a team, who's getting 25 for them tonight? They're going to need 3 or 4. You know what I mean? They're going to need that because they're not deep. They're not going to have that much coming from their bench. So yeah, I agree with you. I think unders for some of the Phoenix stuff or under like their team total is probably the way to go here.
Yeah, 100%. And a couple props I do like. I like looking at 3-point props, and I've been targeting these unders
you've been doing well with these.
I like these. Landry Shamet's 3-point numbers over 2.5. That's plus 105 to go over, minus 140 to go under. In his last 15 games played for the Suns since January 11th, he's made more than 2 threes exactly one time. Now, I know he's playing extra minutes, and I know Devin Booker's out, and he certainly can shoot. But when you're getting a minus 140 price on an under when he's only gone over once out of 15 games, that line seems wrong. The number seems wrong. I'll take the under 2.5 on his 3-point prop there. It's a little different. You're betting on Landry Shamet, which most books aren't really used to, right? Yeah. They're going to, if a lot of people watch this and jump on it, they're going to be like, what the hell is going on with the Landry Shamet props today? Yeah. The fact of the matter is he's just not hitting that many threes. And the other one, I always look at Giannis rebounding props nearly every game. You're getting at 12.5. The only game in his last 7 where he hasn't had 14 or more rebounds was when that blowout loss to Phoenix. They lost by 24 and he had 7 rebounds. But you look at his rebounding numbers in his last, 7 games, 14-7, 14-11, 14-16, 17-16. Now we're getting a plus number here, over 12.5 at plus 110. I think Giannis gets to 13 rebounds today as well.
Erik, what are some of the plays you're looking to attack in this game?
I got 2 plays in this game. To kind of piggyback what Kyle was saying, I don't know who's going to score for Phoenix. No Johnson, no Paul, no Booker. So that leads me to my favorite play, the under first half. I got 113.5. Bucks, they're coming off 2 emotional games. In my eyes, everyone wants to talk about the Nets and the Sixers being the rivalry in the NBA. To me, it's Bucks Heat. That's the rivalry in the NBA, just because of the history that they've had. So they just played them. They won a game on Wednesday. They shouldn't have won. Just played a physical game in Chicago on Friday. Now you're playing a day game Sunday without 2 of the best 3 players of the other team. I could see them starting off a little bit slow. Also, you look at first half defense. Bucks are top 8 in the NBA in terms of first half defense.
And that's going to make for Shamet. Think about Shamet, who he's going to be matching up with. He's going to be trying to get shots off over Holiday, Middleton, Grayson Allen, who's a feisty little prick out there. You know what I mean?
Yes,
he's not easy to get around. And then Giannis, Bobby Portis, that's length there. That's not going to be easy for him and for them.
Exactly. And you look at the Phoenix defense is actually better on the road than it is at home for the first half. So that's another way that brought me to this under 113.5. And then, part of gambling, I'm always trying to learn. Kyle's been hyping up the 3-point props. So I did a little dive in on my own.
Love it.
Drew Holiday, in 6 of his last 10 games, he's gone over 2.5 threes. I found that at plus 166. So I like that one in.
Nice.
I like that a lot.
That's
there we go.
One, a little elevated there. And you were kind of hitting on something too. It's funny because with the team that Phoenix is going to play, they're going to have a tough time, I think, scoring, because you think about these players, they're not a lot of create themselves players, right? Campaign can, but when you think of Shamet, Bridges, Crowder, Ayton, they're guys that are a little bit better when someone can set them up, and you don't have Paul, you don't have Booker, you don't have guys to make things a little bit easier for them. But defensively, that lineup's not awful that Phoenix is going to be throwing out there. They're actually pretty competent defensively when you just think about the players that they're going to have. So they may actually be able to sort of make things a little bit difficult for Milwaukee, at least early, maybe while they're still in the game. And then if Milwaukee just starts to extend and Phoenix doesn't have enough there, then you could see this game being a blowout late. But I like that like sort of under.
Probably not a lot of transition points for Phoenix, right? Just this isn't a lineup where it screams, Showtime Lakers of the
No,
80s where they're
exactly.
going up and down the court. It's going to be a little bit bigger of a lumbering team. And
that's got to be their approach too, right? They got to think like a football team would. Hey, look, we're missing some of our key position players today. Let's just less possessions in this game, right?
Absolutely.
We don't want to run up and down and turn the ball over a lot. Let's just take the air out of the ball a little bit, try to be efficient if we can. We'll dump it down to Ayton here and there and see if he can get some looks back out. So yeah, that's I locked in under 232 for the whole game, and Phoenix 109 was the team total, right?
Yeah,
On there,
yeah,
on them.
109.
So I might do like you said too. I'm gonna look around for a little elevated one too before we lock in. Maybe I can get that down to 105 ish.
Yeah, because I think it just makes sense. Let me double check it, but I thought I saw under 104.5 plus 250 plus 275. I'm like,
absolutely.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Especially just a half. If you like that, you put a half unit or sprinkle something even smaller on that for a plus. Just that way, if your opinion's really right, you can capitalize on it, but you don't get crushed if you're, that's a little too much,
Absolutely. So, and taking unders in the NBA, like you said, is terrifying.
Yeah.
You'll see these teams like Brooklyn's a great example. Several times you're like, who the hell are these players? There's no Durant, no Harden when they had Harden, no Kyrie. Mm-hmm. You take their under and you're like, how the hell did they score 134 points? What the hell happened?
I know.
So it can be scary taking unders in the NBA.
Unbelievable. This is the NBA Finals rematch. Bucks going for their 4th win in a row. Suns coming off that really cool, awesome win against the Knicks, but they are in some trouble because Cam Johnson has been the one that's been really picking up the slack as of late. I think he's been averaging 20 plus points in the last 6 or so coming off that monster effort. And without him there, in addition to everyone else, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Campaign to make things happen for everyone. And he's undersized going against trying to find passing lanes with the length of this Bucks team. That might be pretty difficult for them today. Anything else to mention on this game, fellas, before we move on?
That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah.
That's it for me too.
And unfortunately, the Sunday marquee games, this one is going to be a little bit marred. Maybe Phoenix can be feisty and keep it close, but obviously this game would be much more of a sexy marquee finals matchup if Booker, Johnson, Chris Paul were all out there. So
absolutely,
a little bit of a bummer, but plenty other games on the slate today. Just got to give a shout out. I'm not going to have any plays in this game, but our guy, Kyle Kuzma, has been just tearing it up as of late for Washington. They play against the Indy later today, but just in a DFS standpoint, props and stuff, he has been doing a little bit of everything because he just has to. There's so few actual scorers and playmakers there now. Once Beal's not playing, they traded Dinwiddie. They traded a couple guys and brought back a player that's not even playing. So he's just
Porzingis is supposed to play today.
Okay,
he's supposed to make his debut today. Yeah.
Good. Okay, so
it's a little bit weird, Kuzma, right? It's weird, especially you played DFS for a while. You're like, wait, I'm paying $9,000 for Kyle Kuzma now. I'm used to paying $4,600 for this guy and hoping he hits a few threes. Now he's a 50-point guy every night. But I will caution at his price on FanDuel today, which is the only one. On DraftKings, it's a single game. But on FanDuel, he would only hit 5 times value at 9,200, 22% of the time this year. Yeah. So might be a little bit of a fade spot. If you take Giannis, for example, at 11.8 on FanDuel, he still hits 5 times value 50% of the time there. So find a way to get to Giannis. It's going to be a little bit chalky, but we talk about it. There's good chalk and bad chalk, like Malcolm Brogdon last week. He had a huge game on Sunday at 5,800. Now he's 7,800 this week because that's typically where Malcolm Brogdon's going to be between 7,000 and 8,000. When you start getting him under 6,000, that's when you jump on it and eat that good chalk.
We could use one of those irrational confidence guys this year with the Lakers. Guy who just thinks he's good. Man, he would be just scoring. He'd have some monster games this year out there in a wing. It's just that'd be nice. But that's in Washington, Indy. Let's go to you, Erik. Any other plays? Tell us which game you want to go to for a play or two today.
I got one other play in the NBA. I locked in the Cavs and the Raptors under 109.5 for the first half. Mm-hmm. Raptors are going to be without OG Anunoby. We really don't know if Van Vliet's going to go.
He's out. He's ruled out.
He's 100%.
And so is Malachi Flynn as well. So where's the ball handling coming from?
Exactly. So there's no ball handling. You look at it. The Raptors are 25th in pace in the NBA. On the flip side of that, the Cavs are 27th in pace in the NBA. Cavs actually are the 3rd best team at home defending the first half. So I think points are going to be at a premium here. I just like this play. I think this a little bit under the radar.
Another one of mine is I went under in the Memphis-Houston game. This one is all the way up to 237 now.
Oof.
That just seems really high.
It is.
Memphis is on a back-to-back. It's crazy how things change every year in the NBA and I guess in the NFL, but really in the NBA with the totals. It's like I'm looking at these numbers. It's like Memphis has only hit 120 in one of their last 5. And in this case, that actually is like a positive. It's like,
that was huge for me. I took the over 223 in that game. It was against Boston, I believe. And it was low scoring. And the last like 2 minutes, both teams exploded and they got to 227. I think they won 120, 107. That was huge for me. The one time they did it, it made me look smart. Thank God.
So
Thank you, Memphis.
if you just look at the way both of these two teams are playing, their recent form has been a lot of unders, even in games that Memphis has been winning, even in games where the Rockets have been getting crushed. They have not been allowing all that much. Houston opponents have scored 119 or under in 4 of their last 5 games. So I just don't know if Memphis is going to need to win this game by 40. Schroeder might not play today for Houston. If that's the case, that's one less score for a team that's already kind of up against it sometimes. So I'm going to go under the 237. I thought that number was really, really high there.
Like that.
So, Kyle, any other plays for you today?
I do. I got another 3-point prop at plus 145. Tyrese Halliburton in this Pacers-Wizards game. First of all, the Wizards are terrible defensively. We mentioned Kyle Kuzma. He won't necessarily be on Halliburton, but he might be the worst individual defender, maybe outside of Karl Anthony Towns, who ever existed in the NBA. Or maybe, Isaiah Thomas, the tiny Isaiah Thomas, not the Hall of Fame Isaiah Thomas, who was obviously a terrific defender back in his day. But Tyrese Halliburton's played 9 games for the Pacers. He's made 3 or more threes in 6 of those games. He didn't hit it in the last mark, hit it in the previous 3. You're getting him over 2.5 threes, plus 145. I like that quite a bit for Tyrese Halliburton. And the only other one, it's sort of a lean for me here, but 2 teams sort of going in different directions. We talked about the Knicks and that come from behind victory for the Suns. They've lost 7 straight. 1 of their last 10 they've won. The Knicks are heading in the wrong direction. The Clippers, sort of under the radar, 1-5 straight, look a lot better, starting to sort of get a rhythm even without their star players. I'm getting that under 2 possessions. I'm not putting a ton on this, but I do think the Clippers can beat the Knicks at home. The Knicks stink on the road. They stink at home as well. And that's probably a product of teams getting up to play in Madison Square Garden. So it sort of takes away that home court advantage, right, for the Knicks oftentimes. But minus 5.5, I think the Clippers get it done here. And I sort of lean the over in that one, over 220.5 as well.
Okay, you and I are going to have to bet a joint on that game because I'm going the opposite way. That's one of my – we got a joint bet on that game. So here's some of my reasoning for going the other way. Now, mainly, you're absolutely right. The Knicks have been putrid. They've lost 7 in a row. But their last 4 losses, that game at Phoenix, they were up by 10 when Julius Randle got thrown out there, and Cam Johnson had to go nuts in that game in the 4th quarter. I think he went 9 of 12 from 3-point in order for them to get the win there. Prior to that, they lost twice to Philly and once to Miami. So those last 4 games are against teams that are pretty good. When you look at the Clippers, they've won 5 in a row, 7 of 8. Those 5 wins, 2 of them against our Lakers, 3 of them against the Rockets. So I don't know. Maybe their win streak doesn't look quite as good, and maybe the Knicks team, playing a little bit tougher, and maybe the Knicks are just, hey, we got to get a fucking win right now. We've lost 7 games in a row. They've got a sort of a night game in a cool spot on TV against the Clippers. That while I've been super impressed, mainly with Ty Lue, like how he's been able to coach this team, get them up. I don't think the Clippers are good as a team. They overachieve, and they are just like they're just well coached, a bunch of guys that play hard, that try hard, but I don't think they're necessarily fantastic. So joint bet straight up on the game.
Well, now I'm nervous as shit. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that.
So now, 5.5. If you're playing with the Clippers on Kyle's side, look for the best that you can get. If you can get a 5-ish around there, if you're playing on my side, see if you can get like a 5.5 or so with the Knicks on that one. And we'll see if we smoke him if we got him on Tuesday night there.
100%.
Fellas, anything else to mention before we get out of here?
No, that's not. I'd keep an eye on the CJ McCollum 3-point prop at 2. It's over 2.5 minus 115. Now he's there's 3 of his last 4. He's only gotten to 2. Denver's defensive backcourt. This is not Denver in years past with Gary Harris and Jamal Murray shutting down backcourts. Now you're talking about the Monte Morrises of the world and the Facundo Campazzos of the world. CJ McCollum, I think, has a good shot here, even though he hasn't been making a ton. The attempts are still there, 6 or more. in nearly every game he's played for the Pelicans. Over 2.5 minus 115 is a nice number when you get that defensive advantage against a poor defensive backcourt in Denver.
Make sure to give Kyle a follow on social media there. He has great content all the time. Kyle, I heard you did a really good job with UFC stuff last night, right?
Ooh, we killed it. It was a great card. It was fun to watch. I mean, obviously, I hate things like that where I'm not a Colby Covington guy, but I knew he's going to win the fight, so you have to take him.
Yeah.
When he got that knockdown, I found myself rooting against myself and rooting against all my content. Didn't happen, but yeah, Leo did a great job too. Surprise, awesome. Leo had some great calls. The UFC show went really, really well for us last night.
Great, awesome. Looking forward to that. We've got a lot of really good stuff on BTV right now, Better Than Vegas, and all of it's free. Now we are available in podcast form too, so you can check that out. Subscribe, download anywhere that you get your podcast. Kyle has basketball stuff up all week long. Every day you'll get different stuff from him: props, team totals, videos and work for different sites and different publications. Man, keep kicking ass, keep doing great. Erik, we're gonna have a ton of college basketball coming up. I think this week we're going live 10 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning to go over the conference tournament games and the basketball slate that day. Next week we're doing the same thing. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, the first 4 days of the NCAA tournament. In the middle of there somewhere, we're going to have a big bracket breakdown. Are you ready, my man? You ready?
My favorite type of year, man. You know, I'm ready to watch some hoops, make some money, dude.
Awesome. I got to watch that because I don't know shit about college, and I can't have Kurt Angle kicking my ass because I'm a shitty teammate.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. We're going to help you out. We'll get everybody set up because there's so many people. That's how I was for a long time, where you shift to whatever the big focus of whatever sport it is, right? It goes from football, then football ends, and then it's sort of like, okay, now I can watch college basketball for a little while, and I got to get all caught up. So we'll help everybody. If you've been paying attention all year, you'll enjoy it. If you have only watched one game, don't worry. We'll get you set up. We'll make sure that if you go to a party or you're talking brackets with your friends, that you won't sound stupid. So we'll make sure
that's what I need. Badly need it.
Everything's free at BTV. Flip those notifications on for Better Than Vegas. Everyone, you have an awesome Sunday. I'm going to get the drinks flowing right now myself.
Yeah, it's on. It's on today.
Here we go.
It's on.
Fellas, let's make some